Hey guys, I'm back with a new video. In this video, I'll start with asynchronous JavaScript programming. Now the first thing that comes to our mind is when we first hear the term asynchronous. What is asynchronous? Let us demystify this. So till now all the code that we worked with was synchronous in nature, that is each line of code first runs completely and then we move forward to the next line and so on. We know that JavaScript is a single-threaded language. By single thread we mean that it can perform exactly one task at a time. That is all the code that we wrote till now runs in some well-defined sequence from top to bottom, one line at a time. So if we have lines of code like this, so LOC1, LOC2, LOC3, LOC4, LOC5 till LOCN, then the code for any line of code, LOC3 for that matter, will get executed after LOC2, but it will block LOC4 from running until it gets finished. So that means the code that you and I wrote till now was synchronous in nature. Each line of code has to run completely in order for the control to go to the next line and so on. Now you must be wondering now, what is asynchronous code then? Let me explain this with the help of an example. So console.log LOC1 ran, then I will set up a timeout, which is an asynchronous operation. I will set a timeout of 2000 milliseconds and I will say console.log LOC3 ran and then console.log LOC5 ran. So let us check the output of the code in the browser. So you can see first we are getting LOC1 ran. Let me zoom this up. Then LOC5 ran and then LOC3 ran. So what is happening here? Shouldn't the order be LOC1 ran, then LOC3 ran, then LOC5 ran? So let us understand this. Now this set timeout function is asynchronous in nature and hence it will take some time to complete, but you can see it doesn't block the code. The log below this set timeout ran immediately after the first log, and then the log pertaining to the set timeout runs in the end. Now had this set timeout function been synchronous, then the output for the code had been LOC1 ran, LOC3 ran and then LOC5 ran, which indeed is not the case here. Now therefore this set timeout function is asynchronous in nature. Other than this, we also have HTTP async calls that are asynchronous in nature, which means that they do take some time, for example, to fetch some data from the backend, or any interaction with the backend is asynchronous in nature when you make an HTTP call to some remote server. So I would highly recommend you to check out my Demystifying Asynchronous JavaScript series. I have covered some of the very important topics in the land of asynchronous JavaScript like callbacks, async await, iterators and generators from theoretical perspective required for interviews. We also made our own async await using generators and Piffy in one of the videos. The link for the complete playlist can be found in the I button at the top right corner of the video. So coming back to the topic, it is clear that we do not want our code to get blocked until these operations finish. So if we have a bunch of code like say we have say code 1 and let this be synchronous in nature. Then we have say code 2 and that is async in nature, and then code 3 that is synchronous in nature. Then first the code 1 will run, then we will initiate the running of code 2 and it will start running in the background, but it won't get finished because it takes some time to get with the results. So before code 2 we will have the results for code 3. So first this will run, then we will be having the results for code 3 and then finally the results for code 2 will arrive. So I'll mark this as 3. So in this case the execution order will be code 1, then code 3 and finally we will have the results for code 2. So code 3 did not have to wait at all here. Now let us understand what is happening under the hood in case of set timeout. Now this set timeout operation is a web API operation, so it is handed over to the browser under the hood, and the browser uses multiple threads So one thread is managing the async operation, and the other thread, which is our main thread, is running our JavaScript code. So this async operation, which is a set timeout function, is handed over to the browser. It is managed by the web APIs that are there in the browser, and the browser has multiple threads that are managing this async operation, and the rest of the code is running on a main thread. So this async operation, which is set timeout, is getting managed by the browser and is separated from our main code in its own thread managed by the browser. So this way we got the output of the code, and our code didn't got blocked, and the browser handled the set timeout operation behind the scenes when all other code was running. But whatever results we get back from the asynchronous operation, we typically require a mechanism to deliver the results from the browser to JavaScript code that we are working on. For that, we can make use of the callback functions. So whenever we have the results for the set timeout operation, this callback function, or this arrow function that is representing the callback function, will get triggered after 2000 milliseconds, and we will log this to the console. So I do have a separate video on callbacks. The link for that can be found in the I button at top right corner. Now as you can see in our set timeout function, we are passing a callback function to it, and this callback function is supposed to get triggered by the browser once the async operation gets completed. So all our code will keep running, and once we have the results with us for the async operation, the callback will get triggered and we get the result for that as well. So this was all about the video on understanding the synchronous and asynchronous code, where we discussed what they actually mean and how you can leverage the power of asynchronous operations and callbacks to ensure that your code doesn't get blocked and your work gets done quickly. So if you liked the video, do give it a thumbs up, hit the bell icon for notifications of upcoming uploads. So let's catch up in the next video.